In tonight's CTV News, it's all about the experts. Fire experts across the globe gather in Christchurch to share their knowledge. The emergency services prepare for an action-packed showcase of expertise, and the insurance industry is striving for excellence. This is CTV News. I'm Grant Mangan. Christchurch's post-earthquake demolition boom seems to be at an end. Government-managed demolition contracts have spent almost $90 million on tearing down buildings.
From the highs to the lows. At the peak of the demolition boom, roughly 150 demolition companies were chasing contracts in the city. But as demolition turns to construction, companies are either leaving or diversifying to pursue new projects. Figures from the most recent financial review of CERA show it signed off 482 demolition contracts in the last 4 financial periods. The sum of all contracts, $89.15 million. The figure excludes private demolitions and clearance of red-zoned residential properties. A breakdown reveals the peak of CERA-sanctioned demolitions was the 2011-2012 financial year, when more than half of the contracts were given. That year saw $43.1 million worth of work. Fletcher Construction received one of the biggest contracts, $11.65 million to destroy the Hotel Grand Chancellor on Cashel Street. A further 167 full or partial demolition jobs are scheduled. Alan Edge, owner of Southern Demolition, says he prospered for a while, but others weren't so lucky. Some companies liquidated as competition made tendering more difficult. A CERA spokesman says ensuring value for money is an important part of the tendering process. When demolition work is tendered, best estimates are made from the information available at the time, but in some cases, information found during the demolition will add cost. Many were completed for the cost estimated, and some were done for less than the initial budget. Others cost tens of thousands of dollars more. It's expected CERA-managed demolitions shall be finished by August.
A Facebook post warning Eastern residents of fraudster fundraisers has spawned copycats. The New Brighton project posted a warning to residents last week to watch for phony fundraisers. People were advised to look out for anyone fundraising on behalf of the New Brighton project in Avondale and Linwood. Since the post, there have been reports of other imposters collecting money. The post was removed but has since been replaced as the project organisers believe people should be aware. Project chairwoman Tracy Keane says the group doesn't do any door-to-door collecting. A police spokesman says people should always be wary when giving money to door-knocking fundraisers. The Insurance Council of New Zealand and the New Zealand Training Organisation are joining forces. Together, the two groups will be launching an annual award to promote understanding of general insurance.
The $5,000 programme's aim is to recognise excellence in coverage of insurance issues in an effort to improve insurance-related financial literacy. Chief Executive of the Insurance Council, Tim Grafton, says the insurance industry is critical in safeguarding New Zealand by protecting over $500 billion of Kiwis' assets. Mr Grafton says the media play an important role in shaping public understanding of insurance products and service, along with the industry's contribution to the economy and society as a whole. The award will recognise journalists who have demonstrated excellence in covering complicated insurance issues. Mr Grafton says the Insurance Council is delighted to partner up with the Journalist Training Organisation to offer the award and welcome the Young Enterprise Trust for their expertise as part of the judging panel. Executive Director of the NZJTO, Mike Fletcher, commends the decision to create the award. He says the award will encourage journalists to write about an industry that is such an important part of day-to-day life. Chief Executive of the Young Enterprise Trust, Terry Shupkin, says financial literacy is a critical life skill. She says part of being financially literate is knowing about key topics, and media plays a key role in educating the public. Chief Executive Shupkin says it's important topics like insurance are covered in the media, therefore they're happy to support the award. It's open to all journalists who've published or broadcast stories on insurance-related topics from the 1st of April 2013 to the 31st of March 2014. The award offers 2 cash prizes, $4,000 for the overall winner and a highly commended prize of $1,000. Nominations and entries close at the end of April, and the winner shall be announced in July 2014.
A 200-page report released by Housing New Zealand will be used by the Ministry of Business, Innovation and Employment. The Ministry will use the report to improve construction guidelines. Housing New Zealand's Paul Commons says the earthquakes caused unseen damage to the region's homes and properties. Mr Commons says the aim of the research was to find solutions for houses on TC2 and TC3 land with concrete ring and concrete floor foundations. Hundreds of scientists and engineers have gathered in Christchurch to share research into fire. Marcus Gibbs reports on how the research could help the Garden City.
It's loud, hot and bright, and it can cause serious damage. After centuries of study, human civilization still has a lot to learn about fire.
You know, even though we've known about it for thousands of years, thousands of people around the world still die in fires, mostly in their own homes.
More than 200 fire scientists and engineers from all over the world are sharing what we do know this week at Canterbury University.
But this is all about bringing together the researchers who do fire as their primary research topic and bringing them together so that they can share their ideas, talk about their research, and we can learn from each other.
In Christchurch, fire is a hot topic. The earthquakes forced residents to leave their homes. Now dozens of abandoned houses have been set alight by firebugs. The summer has been mild, but during the 2012 and 2013 summer, the land was left blackened after flames ripped up the outskirts of the city during wildfires.
There's a number of abandoned buildings now in the hills that are a potential concern for people in terms of the wildland and that sort of thing.
As the rebuild ramps up, fire researchers are predicting there will be an increase in the demand for safety knowledge.
It's understanding fire better, anywhere from how do we stop it to how do we design for it, what's the right level of safety to put in there. You can always keep piling on safety features one on top of another, but at some point it becomes, not necessarily productive to do that.
Last year, a Canterbury University PhD student was pushing for developers to use timber in the commercial sector for large buildings during the rebuild. Researchers have been looking into how long a strong timber floor would take to burn through. They've also been looking into engineered timber products,
which is what one thing New Zealand's trying to sell overseas. There's concern about those in fire, and so that's an area we've been working on here.
Fire research is very practical, involving lots of experimentation which can be costly, as ultimately everything gets destroyed. This conference is a cost-effective way for researchers to share their knowledge. About 2,000 people research fire around the world, but in Canterbury the programs are almost unheard of.
We do an awful lot of work that the public would have no idea is going on. In fact, many people don't know about our program here at Canterbury, where we have been going for 20 years doing fire research and fire engineering.
The conference runs until the end of the week, helping researchers from around the world learn more about the power of fire. Marcus Gibbs, CTV News.
Coming up, blooms are taking over the city in the annual celebration of flowers.
The world has a great deal to tell. Journalists from across the world report on their home nations and the experiences of the people who live there. World Stories.
Love music, love summer? Then Ingham Lazy Sundays in the Botanic Gardens Archery Lawn is the place to be. Every Sunday from 3 p.m. through January to February, and it's all free. So make Sunday your day to soak up summer and take time to recharge with family and friends, relaxing in the beautiful Botanic Gardens. Listen to some great music and enjoy some of the many surrounding attractions. The perfect way to unwind. Ingham Lazy Sundays, putting summer into Sundays.
Avoid the cowboys when it comes to relocating. Trust A1 Movers, a family business since 1993 that guarantees a professional job every time. We carefully handle and wrap your valued items, ensuring they have a safe journey. Secure storage and insurance options also available.
A1 Movers, the careful, caring, moving company.
Hi, Tony Todd from Todd's of Ashburton, maintaining the essence of tradition while keeping in style with today. At Todd's, we do our best to meet customer demands and offer quality fashion with friendly service. Our brands are amongst the best. Catering to both men and women, we can have you looking your finest from top to toe. For our full list of brands and products, view our latest up-to-date catalogue at todds.co.nz.
My son's helped me greatly with my independence now that I've got more mobility.
Mum, I've been looking into stand assist chairs from More Mobility. They recline back with a footrest, then when you want to get out of them, they stand you up. You can even sleep on them. More Mobility can bring one out for a free trial. There's even electric beds too. What do you think? For more range and more expert advice, see More Mobility, corner Clarence and Princess Streets off Blenheim Road.
What a difference more mobility makes.
Hi, Pete Smith. Join me every Monday night, 7:30 p.m. here on CTV as we talk to the movers and shakers of sport in our province, nationally and internationally. Pete Smith hosts 7:30 every Monday night here on CTV.
Cathedral Square has had a temporary makeover. The Festival of Flowers has taken over the city with a celebration of floral and garden art.
Creative uses of cars, innovative ideas from children and stunning floral displays are all part of this year's Festival of Flowers. The event is running for the next 3 weeks. The opening ceremony was held over the weekend, with crowds of people showing up to check out the displays.
And it's a good chance to come back into the city because there hasn't been much happening here, and we've seen a lot of tourists come through and locals as well.
The main feature of the festival is the chalice, thousands of flowers lining the bottom in the design of petals. It's temporary now, but organisers would like to see it have a permanent home in the square.
Without it, it's sort of just a piece of metal, but with it really comes alive with the colour and the Garden City image and brand and everything.
This is the first year the organisation have asked for donations to keep it running, but the volunteers helping out are involved for the love of it.
Just doing something nice for the city, and I think they feel quite passionate about that, especially coming back here in Cathedral Square with, since the earthquakes and everything, and it's been so dead, so just having something happening here.
Children are involved in the festival. Discovery One has a feature on display, working with organisations to help them put it all together and become involved in floristry.
Yeah, we like to give different community groups, if we can, in the festival, and we think it's important to get children involved.
The festival is not just bound to Cathedral Square. Cashel Street Mall, the Transitional Cathedral and New Regent Street are some of the places displaying floral art for the next 3 weeks. Emma Cropper, CTV News.
In conjunction with our 100 Days Progress reports on the City Council, reporter Patrick Phelps spoke to Councillor Jimmy Chen.
The councillor for the Riccarton-Wigram ward is one of 4 council members who stood for re-election and succeeded. Mr Chen says there were many reasons he chose to stay on for another term.
In the last term as a councillor, we focus on the earthquake response. But the earthquake recovery and earthquake community resilience is most important. So quite a few people encouraged me to stand in again, for the earthquake recovery, to rebuild and repair the city.
The councillor says this council is working cohesively.
Last council and this council, my personal view, this council we are one team and a new culture. We can make it happen with integrity and passion.
The other area Mr Chen says this council is focused on is building relationships with other organisations.
We build up the very good relationship with other government agencies, Naitahu, private sector, business group, as well as the wider communities. So I strongly believe, we have confidence we can make it happen to rebuild this city.
Councillor Jimmy Chen says one focus for him this term has been transport routes around the city, many of which have been changed since the earthquakes.
Because council at the moment working together with ECAN and the New Zealand Transport Agency, to take active the travelling, not only for the private car, pass through, but also we have established 13 kind of cycleway routes facility. But in this year we built the 2 cycleway facility from the city to the university, yes.
He says at the moment only 4% of residents are cyclists, but hopes to see that increase to 8 or 10%. Another major area Mr Chen says the council is looking at is the annual plan, the finances being a key part.
Where the budget conform and where the budget spending, etc. So we have prioritized and also the request each unit of the city council review if some of the level of service is less priority, so our target probably will be reduced 10% of our expenditure.
Mr Chen says the council needs to work hard to provide affordable housing.
Council at the moment a partnership with the Housing New Zealand and also the New Zealand Housing Foundation and some other housing providers, try to work together to provide the affordable housing to meet people's needs.
Councillor Jimmy Chen says the earthquake damage to the council's housing put 400 properties out of action. Patrick Phelps, CTV News.
The Westpac helicopter will be on display in an emergency services showcase next month. The showcase will be held at Lake Pegasus and will give people the opportunity to see the services in action. Patrick Phelps went to see what we can expect.
Rick Knight's worked as a paramedic for 12 years in this flying ambulance and looks forward to the upcoming showcase.
On the open day, the plan for the Westpac helicopter is that we'll be doing a live water rescue winch display, working in conjunction with the Coast Guard and the Surf Life Saving Club out there. So we're picking up a lost person in the lake, extracting them from the water itself.
Following the water rescue will be a static display of the helicopter, which will give members of the public a chance to look inside and see what sort of equipment they have. Don't worry, while this helicopter's on display, there'll be another one on standby. As well as being able to interact with the public, Mr. Knight says it's a good opportunity for the different services to spend some time together, for a number of reasons.
It can be. Professional rivalry. Yeah, there is a little bit, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's good though. Yeah, it keeps things pretty sharp on it.
The helicopter contains an intensive care unit, much the same as the inside of an ambulance. The back contains alpine and water rescue kits, and also on the side there's a winch. And all that equipment services a fair area.
So up to the Clarence River, north of Kaikoura, down to the Waitaki, sort of south of Timaru. We do all the Alps and Mount Cook. So basically, square miles, you're probably looking at about 45,000 square miles.
The showcase is on Saturday the 1st of March and features displays from all the services, the Fire Service and Police, St John's and the Armed Services, to name a few. Patrick Phelps, CTV News.
It's been called the year of the rebuild. More workers are entering the city centre to help rebuild the city's underground networks. We went inside a site to check out how the workers are kept safe and how they keep the public safe.
Over 100 sites operating across the city. Safety comes first for the public and workers.
This is often what we're looking at. This is a hole for one of our laterals for the sewer main, and this is what connects into your house on every street. And our job is to make sure that no one falls in the hole.
This year, Skirt are doubling the amount of sites they'll be working on in Christchurch, with sites within the 4 avenues peaking by May, which also means welcoming more people to the rebuild.
We're really needing to train more and more people, and that's a big part of this rebuild, is training people, just to make sure that we can all do our job and do it well.
Large gates enclose the sites, but keeping an eye on what's happening outside of them is just as important. A large emphasis has been put on traffic management.
It's sort of a growing science, really, and as we get higher volumes of traffic in the city, we're having to get smarter about it. So, there's a lot of coordination and cooperation going on.
But with thousands of ACC claims made by workers a year, making sure they're working safe is vital. Innovative ideas and simple precautions are all part of the health and safety for rebuild workers. We took a look behind the gates at what's protecting local workers.
One of our most important pieces of kit is our trench shield. So our trench shield will stop the walls from caving in when our worker is down in the hole at 2 or 3 metres deep. These things save lives. When we're operating around services and in the trench, we always have an operator who works as a spotter for our excavator to make sure he can see any of the services with the bucket that might be obscured from the operator's vision. What we have in front of me is the trench, which can be up to 2 or 3 metres deep. One of our safety precautions is our edge protection, which is a physical barrier which will stop people from walking into the trench and eliminates that risk for us on the site.
Christchurch is transforming itself into a new city. For those involved in making it bigger and better than before, keeping safe is all part of the journey. Emma Cropper, CTV News.
Still to come, we have sport, traffic and weather updates.
Join us tonight at 6 for DW World News. Informative, lively, international news, breaking stories and global developments. DW News, weekdays at 6 p.m, right here on CTV.
Is this your year to upgrade your existing interior? Then head into Bathroom and Flooring Warehouse for the latest styles in European vanities, showers and baths, all at affordable prices. Bathroom and Flooring Warehouse also stock a large selection of carpets and vinyl for all your flooring needs. To view our full range, head into 159 Waterloo Road, Hornby, or visit bathroomandflooring.co.nz.
Make your next evening out one to remember at Tutto Bene Italian Restaurant and Pizzeria. Enjoy a lively, authentic, friendly Italian dining experience. Our dishes are made with fresh, local produce, prepared and cooked to perfection. Relax and indulge in mouth-watering Italian cuisine. With gluten-free and vegetarian options available, BYO wine is welcome. Tutto Bene. Dine in or take away. Open 7 days from 5 p.m.
Hey, what's up with you? Oh, I've got birthdays coming up, I've got bills coming out of my ears, I just don't have the money. Well, why don't you just go to the pawn shop?
Yes, the pawn shop has a massive selection of rings, watches, car audio, sports gear, heaps of DVDs, digital cameras, computers and musical instruments. They have just about everything.
Sounds good to me, let's go.
Everything's as good as gold at the pawn shop. 77 Ferry Road and 396 Blenheim Road. Missed a show or want to watch it again? CTV is fitting in with your lifestyle. Be in control with CTV On Demand. Check out our website and follow the links. ctv.co.nz.
Get down! Brandon! Don't worry, I've got my vest. I'll just slip this on.
In Focus, captivating, informative, in-depth documentaries. Be informed and learn something new. In Focus, weekdays at 9 a.m.
Another weekend has been and gone, so that means it's time for a roundup of the past couple of days' sporting action.
At least one Cantabrian could be set to benefit from Jesse Ryder and Doug Bracewell's night out on the Sauce last week. The two Black Caps have been made unavailable for the second test, which gets underway in Wellington on Friday. Canterbury bowlers Hamish Bennett and Matt Henry, who both impressed during the one-day series recently, are top runners to replace Bracewell as backup, although it's highly unlikely any changes will be made to the bowling lineup, with the Black Caps seamers impressing in the first test. One local that could potentially be set to make his test debut, though, is Canterbury batsman Tom Latham. Latham's domestic form has been on a high with 5 half-centuries and a massive 241 not out in the Plunket Shield recently. If Latham is named to replace Jesse Ryder as the backup batsman, there is every chance he could make his test debut, with Ross Taylor's wife due to give birth any day now. The squad for the second test will be named tomorrow. Our footballers, the Canterbury United Dragons, have dropped to third and will be without 2 of their stars for this weekend's match after their 3-3 draw against Team Wellington yesterday. Striker Russell Camo and defender Julian Collett picked up their 4th yellow cards of the campaign yesterday and will miss Sunday's match against Hawke's Bay United at English Park. Hawke's Bay leapfrogged Canterbury into second spot yesterday after they defeated Waitakere 2-1. United have a friendly match against Wellington Phoenix A on Wednesday night before the weekend's all-important encounter. And finally tonight, the Cronulla Sharks have picked Christchurch to prepare for the Auckland Nines, which kicks off this weekend. The Sharks arrive in town today and will spend 2 days in the city before heading north for the inaugural Auckland Nines. The club, visiting as part of the NRL's Community Carnival, have an affiliation with the Horsell Hornets and have also indicated they could bring a home game to AMI Stadium in the future. The team will train at Lincoln University tomorrow, while on Wednesday they will be visiting 10 schools before a function to raise money for Canterbury Rugby League at Christchurch Casino. If Cronulla return to Christchurch for an NRL game, it will be the second time they have surrendered home advantage to venture across the Tasman. In 2011, they played the Warriors in Taupo, the first stage of a 3-year deal that was discontinued before the second. You're up to date with the latest in local sport. I'm Gordon Finlater for CTV Sport.
If you're driving around the central city, CTV's new traffic update will assist you navigating the repairs taking place.
To help you plan your journey around the central city over the coming week, here's Monday's update on what's happening with the roads. From Tuesday, Durham Street is down to one lane between Chewham and St Asaph Streets. With schools back and increased traffic volumes, road users should expect longer delays than normal through this area. We suggest Fitzgerald and Barbados as alternatives for those travelling from the east, and Deans Avenue if coming from the northwest, or where possible consider not travelling during peak hours. Some good news is Hereford Street is now open to two-way traffic. However, a reminder that the Hereford Street Bridge is only open to vehicles 3 tonnes or less. Keep watching CTV News first at 5 for the latest updates on what's happening with the Central City roads. And in the meantime, visit the Transport for Christchurch website.
And the Transport for Christchurch website does include the update you've just seen. So if you missed any of that information and you'd like to catch up on it, you can go to the website and view it as many times as you like. And finally tonight, your regional weather.
Kia ora and good evening, Canterbury. A light northerly airflow will die out tonight with a weak trough developing over the South Island tomorrow. Taking a look now at the weather for your area. Kaikoura sits on a warm 11 overnight. They're mostly fine tomorrow with a high of 21 and high cloud and breezy northeasterly winds developing. Hanmer Springs also on 11 overnight and mostly fine and sunny tomorrow with that high cloud increasing. Northerly winds will head your way with a high of 25 degrees. Rangiora and Kaiapoi sitting on 11 overnight, then fine and mild in North Canterbury as well, with a daytime high of 22 but the usual northeasterly breezes. Christchurch a fine Tuesday ahead after 11 overnight with brisk northeasterly winds and a high of 20 degrees, increasing high cloud in the afternoon. Ashburton sits on 11 overnight, they're mostly fine with high cloud and breezy northeasterly winds. Your daytime high tomorrow will reach 21 degrees. And Timaru sitting on 11 overnight, then fine with high cloud increasing and a daytime high of 21. You'll have some moderate northeasterly winds and a risk of evening showers as well. In other areas now, all areas sitting between 9 and 12 overnight, so still quite warm. Then highs vary tomorrow with Arthur's Pass and Greymouth on 18, most other areas on 21 and Culverden taking the top spot of 24 degrees. All areas having a bit of cloud tomorrow with Arthur's Pass and Greymouth ending with some showers. Looking ahead for Canterbury, sunny periods and high cloud on Wednesday morning with moderate mild northerlies but cooler southwesterlies freshening during the afternoon with low cloud and a period of rain or some thunderstorms possible at first. Mostly cloudy on Thursday, dry for most of the day but some showers may develop later on in the afternoon with moderate southerly or southwesterly winds. That's it from me. Have a great night and we'll have another update for you tomorrow.
That's CTV News for Monday. I'm Grant Mangan. Good night.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.